Okay.
Alrighty.
This is the real one.
This is the real, for real Z's take.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
My name is the Wasteland Podcast, and this is Shane.
My name is...
What?
I was doing Aqua Hunger Force theme song.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing Kid Rock.
Meat wad, get the money, see.
Meat wad, get the honey, see.
Yeah, so we all know Meat wad. We all know Meat wad.
Master Shake.
Master Shake. John Benjamin was Master Shake in the live action episode, and T-Pain was Frylock. And a big red exercise ball was Meatwad. And it was just the actual cartoon voice still. The plot was totally different in the episode. John Benjamin was just like this dude wearing like a white suit with yellow like rubber gloves.
Yeah.
And he's like a servant for T-Pain. And then Meatwad's like, you gotta kill Frylock, Master Shake. And he grabs like a katana. It's awesome. Yeah.
That show's great.
Yeah, we love some Aqua Teen.
Aqua Teen.
The movie was good.
I haven't seen the movie.
The movie's good. And the movie is literally... So the show's 15 minutes long, not 30. The movie is like hour 30 or whatever. It feels so long. Because it's like you're watching the 15-minute long show. You know how like 30-minute shows have like arcs and like a character has to learn a lesson? Yeah. Aqua Teen isn't like that. It's only 15 minutes long. It's just like stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
And so it's like an hour 30 minutes of just like no nothing. And it feels way too long. And then it's funny as hell though, but it's like there's no point to it. Yeah. There's no lesson to be learned. There's barely a story. But God, is it funny. And Mastodon wrote the intro song. So there you go.
I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Anyway,
El Mayo.
I don't want to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse case. It's all very obvious. We all know that it's bullshit. We all know the judge is like fucking biased as hell, and none of it matters. But I do want to make fun of the whole thing. I do want to make fun of it, yeah. So I will be trying to sprinkle in some Kyle Rittenhouse jokes. Feel free to join me. Making fun of it. No, when he cried, it was more like like he's Chucky from Rugrats or something. This is fun, guys. But he's not laughing; he's crying instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Kyle. Lots of pictures of him circulating around doing the white supremacy thing. That's like.
He's wearing a shirt that says
that was like
freedom as fuck. Free as fuck.
Free as fuck is what he...
Yeah.
The thing is that like, okay, so the white supremacist OK symbol. That was not real at first, right? I
don't think so.
Like, I feel like they saw liberals freaking out about something that wasn't real. Then they were like, let's make that real now.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that was real, right? Like, I thought it was fake until I saw, like, the cops during the protests doing it all the time.
Yeah. And
then more and more people started doing it. So it's like, maybe... It's like the Let's Go Brandon thing. Like, maybe those are actual secret things. Like, and the OK thing went right under my nose this whole time. I just didn't know, but I thought it was fake.
I thought so, too. Because everyone was doing, like, the punch...
Yeah, everyone does the OK symbol for various reasons, but yeah, one of them is if you just do the circle and people look at it, they punch you.
But people were doing that in photos, but it has to be like below your waist, so people were doing that in pictures.
Yeah,
and that was a huge meme for a while.
I do it sometimes.
Yeah, and then people like
I'll send a girl a pic of me, and I'll be like doing a mirror shot, and then like the very bottom we do one of these.
Yeah,
I love doing that. It's fun.
It's funny. And then people started doing it like that, and I don't know.
Anytime you're looking... Shut up. Anytime you're looking really drippy, make sure you throw one of those in one of your selfies.
Yeah.
Really off to the side so no one can see. Like, barely showing.
Almost out of frame.
When they see it, they'll be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's totally a real thing. And
now
yeah,
it is.
And
undeniably it is.
Kyle does it all the time because. But okay, so I will say this about Kyle. For those of you who don't know, his mom drove him to that Black Lives Matter protest, and his uncle gave him the gun. So like, how much of it is like, how okay am I with locking this kid up for killing someone at 17? He's 18 now, so I think he can be tried as an adult. I don't know how it works.
I think it's that time. It's how old you are when you commit the crime.
That makes more sense. But I think
he's being tried as an adult regardless.
Yeah, it's weird. It looks like an adult trial. But I don't know how I feel about this when it's like, I mean, I would say even when you're like 21, you're still like very influenced by your parents, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how I feel about like locking him up when it's like he's brainwashed. Like it's not a failure of like one guy. This is a failure of like an entire system the Republican Party is fucking insane and they want to like indoctrinate you. They want you to be this guy who walks around with a gun to protect property, right? They want your parents to drive 30 minutes, and then to like someone that's not your home to protect property, which doesn't even make sense, right? With an assault rifle that your uncle gives you. It doesn't make any fucking sense when you think about it at all, but that's what they want from you. Like, they want you to be this crazy, obsessed political guy.
Both parties want you distracted from the real issues.
Yeah.
And they both throw this bullshit out. Try and, catch people up.
Some insane shit happens, and then there's, like, the people who have power to do something about it do nothing about it. And so we're just, like, arguing with each other about some stupid-ass shit, like... I mean, it's really weird.
I don't think he should be just let go scot-free, because that says a precedent.
It does, and that's why... so I told you guys I was going to say this earlier. But yeah, so if he gets off not guilty, he's going to be at the 2024 RNC convention as like a special guest. Because he's going to be seen as a hero. He's going to get interviewed by Fox News as like a hero. Everyone's going to praise him as a hero. And so our only two options are in jail or he's a fucking hero and he's the savior and everyone should be happy that he's such a good kid. And it's like, no. The gun, he should not have had that gun out in public. That was illegal. The gun's not his. He got it illegally. He
murdered people.
He killed 2 people. Like, it's self-defense because this third guy... After he killed 2 people, this third guy came up with him with a gun.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because he killed 2 people. Like,
yeah.
Like, where
the prosecution fucking...
The prosecution's terrible.
But they slammed him on that. He was like...
Yeah.
He was like, why were you... How was it not this guy's... How was he not committing, like, trying to be... acting in self-defense because you had a rifle pointed at him.
Yeah, and he's like...
But it's self-defense for you because he had a pistol that wasn't aimed at you.
Kyle answered it pretty well. He just kept saying over and over that I was in danger because he was coming at me with a gun, and he was refusing to acknowledge the fact that he was pointing a gun at this guy, and the guy the self-defense argument goes both ways with everyone. Because Kyle's literally running around with an assault rifle pointing it at people. And it was loaded, and he proved it. He killed people. So it's it's like the most stupid thing to ever happen, and it cost people's lives. And it's one of those things where, like, maybe a kid shouldn't be in those positions where they have to make that sort of life or death decision. Maybe someone who's 17 who has no training at all doesn't have a driver's license. He lied about going to college to be like an EMT or something. He lied about a lot of stuff. There's no reason for him to be out there with a gun like that. Like, straight up.
I mean, he was LARPing, and his family was helping him.
His mom drove him there and was encouraging him. Like, you're such a brave boy because you support the cause and you hate BLM. And it's like, what is going on?
But his whole rhetoric, he kept saying that he was there to provide medical attention. It's like, why do you need a gun for that?
He had no medical supplies on him, and he's not trained in that at all. That's 100. Yeah.
But why do you need a gun for that?
He keeps lying to the press and saying that, he cited the college he was going to. The college actually just released a statement saying, yes, he's enrolled, but he's not enrolled in any medical program at all. Like, he's not going for that. he's enrolled for literally like a non-degree course. He's just literally taking classes online. That's it. He also like I think he wasn't going to like a high school. I think he just like was just got his GED or something. I don't know, but he didn't. So it's just like he just keeps lying about his background, and like I don't know if that's being used against him in court. I highly doubt it is. I don't think they're going for the character assassination attempt. I think instead they're just trying to like I don't know. The prosecution was like, you play Call of Duty? Do you kill people in Call of Duty? I rest my case.
Nuh-uh.
And Kyle literally goes, they literally asked Kyle, like the prosecution's like, and you kill people in these games? And Kyle's like, he literally like does this thing where he's like looking around the room and he's like, and he like freezes and he's like, it's just a video game, it's not real. Like, it's like, why did you, it's like, you stupid pieces of shit. Why did you ask him if he kills people in video games? As if that's not what like every boy ever has done in a video game.
It's like, oh no, those are actually sprites. They're not people. Like,
he's like, oh, just so we're all aware, those aren't real people. So I don't feel bad killing them. I would feel bad killing someone.
Except he doesn't.
Okay, glad we. It's like, why would you? It's like, all right, Kyle. I know I'm your enemy. I'm gonna toss you a slow ball right down the middle. It's not gonna be a fastball. It's not gonna be a curveball. You can hit it if you want. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna slam this. I'm gonna get a home run on this one.
Yeah.
It's like, what the
so
fuck?
Stupid. Yeah.
Why did you ask him that? It doesn't make any sense. But we also know that they, They were like, we have this drone FBI footage, and like, they fought so hard not to show it. After like days of not being able to show it because they just wouldn't allow it, they finally showed it. But everyone online is just like, yeah, this just proves it was self-defense even further. But the thing is that in this video, the guy he shot like a bunch. Like the guy he shot him in the back a whole bunch. But to be fair, people were hitting him. People were beating they weren't beating the shit out of him, but they were like hitting him, right? They pushed Kyle on the ground. One guy hit him with a skateboard. Like they were beating him up, but not like. But what happened was like they hit him and then they walked away and then Kyle fucking shot them. So it's like a weird thing. It's like again,
it's a panic response. So it is. This is a 17-year-old holding a big ass gun, and he panicked. Like,
and
that's really what it comes down to.
That's why he shouldn't. It's like it's really more of a failure of like our society, his parents, the police for just letting people walk around with assault rifles, being like, oh, you're in a militia group? That's fine. Yeah, you can be. Oh, I know there's like protests going on and the police are fighting protesters right now. We're like literally being violent with people right now. Yeah, just walk around with assault rifles. That seems like a good idea. And then this shit happens. It's like, it's like, again, it's like, do I blame the kid? Or do I blame everyone else? But the thing is, if you blame everything else, nothing will change. Nothing will happen. So it's like, I don't know. You know, it's just such a stupid shit show of a situation that just makes me want to be like, yeah, I wish we could just go back in time and just not let people walk around with guns like that. Or at least, you know, someone made the point of if Kyle was black, the police would not have let him walk around with an assault rifle. And it's true. I don't think they would have let him done that.
No.
If all the Black Lives Matter protesters had assault rifles, you know, the way that Republicans protest with assault rifles, I think they would just open fire and kill them. Like,
that's actually why...
I just don't...
That's why gun laws in California got changed back in the 60s, is when Ronald Reagan was governor of California, the Black Panthers...
were
carrying around guns.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? No one gets guns.
Yeah. I realize now why it's scary.
Yeah. And...
yeah, no.
I mean, people... I don't know.
Yeah, so it's...
The Black Panthers would literally, like, stockpile guns and shit.
Yeah.
And they were assassinated and fucking raided and killed all the time.
There used to be a time where militia groups would have assault weapons, they'd have guns, and then they would protest their horrible work environments, and then America would send the National Guard on them, and they would get in, like, gunfire in the streets over protesting work conditions. And now we have militia groups to like shoot black people when they are like rioting and protesting. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know. It's like these militia groups have like such a weird purpose. They don't serve the original purpose. The original purpose where people were like fighting against the government when they were protesting their horrible conditions.
Which is
now they're working for the government.
Yeah. Now they're defending the government. Yeah.
Part of a militia in the Constitution is to stop the government. It's not to stop other people.
And they're like, you're hurting public property. We're going to kill you. And it's like, and the police are like, this is okay. You can murder people if it's to protect public property. It's like,
but if you're trying to do that about work, we're gonna fucking shoot you.
Yeah. So it's just.
But I mean, that's like the Constitution specifically defends militias.
Yeah.
And guns and militias.
Most militia groups nowadays are like insano
right wing.
Yeah, they're just not.
We need the Black Panthers back.
Is the
well, the government totally fucked them up, so
we need them back so they can get into fucking gunfights.
It's okay. There's
a lot of left-leaning militias. People just don't join them because the left tends to be more anti-gun.
Yeah,
there's the Socialist Rifle Association.
Straight up communists are super pro-gun because they're ready for the revolution. They want that shit.
Like literally in the Communist Manifesto, you can't achieve communism without a violent revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, no, a lot of people, American communists are ready they want guns and they're ready to.
Yeah, a lot of leftists are.
And it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm just not a gun guy in general. But,
see, the leftists are like, I want guns to fight the government. Yeah. And then the right's like, I want guns to help the government.
I want guns to fight the government, winking at the government.
Yeah.
I'm gonna protect you.
Exactly.
And libertarians always cite, libertarians and conservatives always cite defending the government, but then it's like...
Yeah. Well, see, but now we get to watch it flip again because that was when Trump was president, and that was in a Republican state.
And that's the funny thing.
We're talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse.
The people who defend Kyle Rittenhouse are also people. Actually, I think this might be not true, but I saw something online that I didn't bother to verify. That someone that was called into the case as a witness literally attended the January 6th riot. I don't know if that's true, but we might see more news on that. But the joke is, it's like, yeah, I'm here to defend property. And then, like, those same people literally went and rioted and attacked the Capitol building.
Exactly.
So, it's just like...
The left's like, I want to dismantle the government and make workers better and make everyone's lives better. Yeah. And the right's like, I want fascism.
Yeah,
I want to dismantle.
I'm going to fight for fascism.
Yes, I'm going to destroy the government and make a fascist government instead.
A legal democratic election. We're rioting. Attack the Capitol building. Yeah, it's so weird.
We're gonna destroy the government and then put the fascism government in instead. With our.
Are you guys excited for if Trump runs again and then it's Biden versus Trump again?
No.
I think Biden will be dead.
I think
it'll be Kamala.
I don't think she has. Man, she's so bad.
She's horrible.
Kamala cannot debate. Kamala cannot do anything. Kamala is just like literally a puppet. Like, she has no ability to do anything on her own anymore.
Biden's kind of puppety too, honestly.
Oh, he'll do random things that the Democrats don't want him to do, but like it's so weird because like you watch him, it's like clearly he's a puppet. Clearly, he's doing whatever the DNC tells him what to do. And then every so often, it'll just be like, nope, we're executing Afghanistan. I don't care what anyone says. And it's like, Biden, everyone hates you because of this. He's like, I don't care. It's weird. Like,
so, my theory on that, I may have said this on the podcast before.
Yeah.
So, I was actually watching something last night. It was a 60 Minutes documentary or whatever from Australia talking about, they're like, pretty much the view in Australia right now is that it's not if they go to war to China, it's when, or like there's going to be a conflict, but how bad will it be, and will the United States be involved? And since Afghanistan borders China, I think that was the United States being like, let's get our shit together because we might about to be rocking out World War III.
Why would Australia go to war against China?
Trump picked a bunch of fights with China, and Australia is one of our direct allies, and they have been for forever. And then Australia is being hit very hard by COVID, and they're trying to deal with China about where exactly it came from, and if it was intentional or not. And China's very pissed about that. And then United States and Australia and a bunch of other countries are kind of allied with Taiwan, but no one is officially... Like, even Taiwan has not officially declared independence, because that would be basically declaring war against China.
Yeah.
But Trump basically declared independence for Taiwan in one of the things he did early on in his...
Because Trump's a madman and is a shit talker.
He's a mad shit talker.
Taiwan's not actually a country right now.
Yeah. No, but he talked about how he had a conversation with the president of Taiwan, and in saying that, basically told China,
just
Taiwan's different. And China really wants Taiwan.
Oh man.
So.
Oh yeah, they do.
It'll be Australia and Japan and South Korea and where's the third one? Taiwan, I guess.
UK.
All getting started in it. UK is pulling some shit with China right now too.
Yeah.
And
the UK would have to join in on that fun.
Yeah.
They would have to.
And then that's going to be North Korea as well.
We helped them with World War II so much.
Well, and they've helped us with even the invasion of Iraq.
Yeah.
Because they're part of NATO.
Yeah. UK.
Yeah.
So that's my theory, though, is that he pulled out of Afghanistan because it's right next to China, and he was like, we don't want to be on both sides of China because we'll get fucked.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But also, this whole...
Well, if anyone's friends with China, it's Biden. He's going to be the one who's going to try to defuse this shit, but it doesn't matter, because if we get a different Republican president, or if we just get Trump again, that threat is back on, so...
You know the things that happened with Fauci, how he killed those dogs?
The puppies in Africa?
Yeah.
You talking about the shit JonTron posted? What are you talking about?
Fauci,
he killed dogs for fun?
I don't know what it was for, but...
Those videos online of, I think it's bot flies?
I guess so, yeah.
So it's a parasite that burrows into the, face of dogs. This thing in Africa, there's this guy on YouTube who's a vet who will remove them.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Shane.
But people are blaming Biden for letting Fauci do that.
He killed dogs.
But all of those experiments that Fauci did on dogs and killing dogs all happened under Trump and with the approval of Trump.
Yeah, of course.
I mean...
Well, a lot of stuff that is not talked about publicly on the news is basically the stuff that Biden and Trump are going to agree on. That's the stuff that always happens behind the scenes where it's do whatever you want.
But it's I this happened a while ago, but I kept seeing, people posting a picture of Trump holding a puppy and being see, Trump would never let this happen. It's Trump literally let it happen.
Right.
Why? And Trump didn't have a dog in the White House. Biden has 3 dogs.
The stuff the vaccine was created under Trump. It's just Biden was president when it was finished. That's the thing. It's stupid. This whole thing's so stupid.
It's interesting. It was interesting to watch the flip because it was so quick.
Yeah.
Of Democrats were not super big on the vaccine whenever Trump got it.
Yeah.
But then, January 21st or whatever rolled around and Biden was sworn in, and suddenly the vaccine was totally a Democrat thing.
Yeah,
Republicans were totally against it.
Well, the thing is, I don't know. I don't think the Republican Party, I don't think Republican people were championing the vaccine, but the thing is that
they were because they were going to try and put Trump's name on it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people were saying America's the only one that's developing a vaccine, and it was all the countries are developing a vaccine. That was the argument against it. But a lot of people didn't want to trust Trump's vaccine. I remember that. Also remember when it first came out, Trump wanted to ban travel to China, and the Democrats were like, "You're being fucking xenophobic."
Yeah.
And then COVID came here, then it's what? It's like, why didn't we just ban travel to China? People were literally traveling to China and back to America while COVID was going on. It was fucking stupid.
That's how it got to Illinois. There was a Chinese guy who went and visited family in China, and came back into O'Hare Airport.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And spread it around Chicago, and it's like...
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, so there was definitely a flip-flop with some things, but
it's just like...
Trump is also the guy who's just straight up like, it's all a hoax, even though I'm president. And it's like, what? You're still president and calling it a hoax. It was really fucking weird. But
that's the thing. Republicans will be like,
investors,
Trump's really the president, and Biden's just there as a placeholder. And they'll be like, why is Biden our president doing all this bullshit?
Oh, I know. Well,
and it's like, wouldn't Trump actually be doing that? Like,
it's really weird when they say that too. But this was back when he was actually still president for real. But yeah, it is really weird because people will say that Trump's secret. I haven't heard people saying Trump's secretly president in a while though, so I'm hoping.
Did you see the giant rally in Texas where it was a huge amount of conservatives waiting for the revival and resurrection of JFK and JFK Jr.?
Yeah, they were thinking JFK Jr. was going to show up to some shit,
and JFK Jr. was going to become Trump's vice president.
Yeah,
they're both dead.
Where did this come from?
I have no clue. But both JFK and JFK Jr. are fucking dead in the ground. Have been for
I just don't
know
why that theory.
But they literally thought
conspiracy came out of nowhere and it just became super popular.
And I'm pretty sure they're still there, waiting for JFK and his son to come back to life, so that Trump can become president, JFK Jr. can become his vice president.
Do they want him to come back to life, or do they think they never died?
I think they think he never died.
Right, which he did die.
But
because these people are like, so my dad is a huge Trump fan, and last time I talked to him, he said he believed that the Earth was flat. He never believed that. Trump becomes president, now he believes Earth is flat. Something's going on with like conspiracy shit. These people think the moon isn't real.
The thing is that everyone, especially with COVID lockdown, has gotten locked into their own little bubbles. And especially because they're terminally online?
Yeah.
Everyone's terminally online. And you go, oh, I don't like what that person says, and you just like cut them out entirely, you block them. And then you start seeing, like, it's like you got your Trump buddies, or whatever, or your Biden buddies, or whatever the fuck, and your Trump buddies are saying, like, some of them are like, oh, did you know the Earth's flat, right? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
And it just sucks you in.
All of the natural medicine people, all the alternate medicine, alternate science people are all anti-COVID, and they're all, like, Trump supporters now. And that's part of why.
Sure.
So, yes.
But
and so it's like it's this weird thing where it's like just conspiracy theory people are the same as Republicans now. Like it's under the
interchangeable.
Same
yeah.
It doesn't. And the conspiracies
I literally don't know why.
Fucking insane. They're
like JFK and JFK Jr. coming back to like
JFK would never actually die. First of all.
Yeah, which is like.
First of all.
And they think Tupac.
Did you play?
Okay, but they they think Tupac was gonna be there to support Trump, which is like what? Huh? Do you know Tupac?
They think they assassinated Kobe Bryant because he knew too much. It's like Kobe Bryant was a staunch liberal, and you think that Kobe Bryant was about to expose the Democrats, and that's why they killed him. They just literally who died recently? Kobe Bryant. Okay, Kobe Bryant was going to expose the liberal. He was a fucking liberal himself. Everything he spent in his life was talking about like black people shit.
And it's like Tupac was a fucking communist.
Yeah, like, I know. Tupac does not like Republicans.
No,
I promise you that.
He probably fucking hated Bill Clinton. He hated George Bush. He fucking hated all of them.
Now,
why would you think he would come back and support Trump?
Yeah.
Because he's dead. That's why.
A lot
because he was killed by Suge Knight. So they think the government did that, and they think he's gonna come. I don't get it.
A lot of people in the 90s fucking hated the Democrats because of the Clintons and because of Al Gore and shit. And it's like, fair. But that doesn't mean they would side with Trump now.
I know!
Bill Clinton was pretty much a Republican anyway, so...
What, do you think MLK is going to come back and support Trump, too?
Turns out, my dream was wrong!
Why isn't MLK clumped in with JFK and Tupac? Because MLK was assassinated by the FBI. How is he not included in this?
I love that the reason why JFK is on the right side, even though he was literally a Democrat president, is that he was killed. And that's it.
He was assassinated. He was the last president to be
assassinated. JFK and Ronald Reagan were the two good guys because JFK was killed and Ronald Reagan was shot. Even though they're like opposites on the political spectrum.
I know.
For some reason, they were on the same team.
I know.
Anyone who's ever been politically
but Trump's
killed,
never been shot or assassinated. I don't know why he would.
Remember when Malcolm X was shot?
Yeah, why isn't Malcolm X in this?
Remember when Malcolm X? People were trying to kill Malcolm X before he died, and so people were just actually coming after him, and he was like shot at multiple times before he died, and he was like, and the government was like, "Wow, look at all these black Muslims trying to shoot you at Malcolm X." That's weird that black Muslims keep trying to kill you, Malcolm X. Almost like Islam's evil or something. That's weird. We would never say that though, because we're not like, racist or we're not Islamophobic or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's weird that black Muslims keep trying to kill you. Yeah. And then the news was like, black Muslims tried to kill Malcolm X. But
it's like, again, why Malcolm X was assassinated by the government? Why isn't he?
So is MLK, and so is possibly JFK as well.
I don't believe that one.
I believe JFK.
I've heard there's more credibility to JFK being a government job than MLK is.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard many people really think JFK was an inside job. And it's a big conspiracy theory thing, but it's like, I don't know, from what I understand, the stuff with the killer doesn't make any sense, but I don't want to weigh in on it that hardcore. I'm not here to talk about Kurt Cobain being assassinated either. I just don't know enough. I do know that Courtney Love has been like stalking her daughter's ex-boyfriend, and they're going to court because she keeps stalking him, and people are wondering if she's trying to hurt him and stuff. So like, it's like,
Courtney Love's
that's kind of sketchy.
Also, like, Also,
I didn't know that Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain were like going through a divorce when Kurt Cobain died, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
did you know Elliott Smith was dating Courtney Love and he also killed himself?
I didn't know Elliott Smith dated Courtney Love.
Yeah.
I just know that Courtney Love is not a good person.
Yeah. And Elliott Smith stabbed himself to death.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's kind of sketchy. How can people who kill themselves when they date Courtney Love have like the violent I'm pretty sure to shoot yourself with a shotgun, which that's what happened with Kurt Cobain, you like have to use your feet, right?
Yeah.
Your toes.
Yeah, so, and from what I understand, the shots were like impossible to do yourself. That's what the coroner said.
Yeah. Although I always wonder if the fact that he was on like ridiculous
they said he was on so much heroin that they're surprised that he killed himself, which is also
I always wonder if he had like a tolerance built up though, and he was just contorted in a crazy way.
It's very possible that. Well, the thing is, he wrote that like suicide note, right?
But it was in like some of it was in Courtney Love's handwriting.
Well, I'm sure, whatever. But the thing is that it's like I don't think she herself would have wrote it. But the thing is that it's like,
remember the time the guy came out and said Courtney Love paid me to kill Kurt Cobain?
Yeah, I remember that.
And then he got hit by a train.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing, but
Wait, why isn't like Kurt Cobain coming back from the dead to help Trump?
Dude's gay.
He's too gay.
Oh.
No. So when Trump was running for the first time, my dad posted this thing. My dad's a giant Nirvana and grunge fan, and he posted this.
And he likes Trump.
Yes, he posted this Kurt Cobain quote. It's not a real quote, by the way, and it's Kurt Cobain being like, if anyone's gonna run this country, so you already know this is not Kurt Cobain quote. He's never talking about fucking government or president.
No, he doesn't care.
Daddy went and started out at if anyone's gonna
he was like
Kurt Cobain. If anyone's gonna run this country.
So apparently, sometime in 1990 to 1990, like 3 or 4 or something, he apparently said someone needs to run this country, something, sort of like a business, and someone who's not affiliated with any side, something like Donald Trump. Like, he predicted Donald Trump would run and become president.
That's bullshit.
And then my dad posted it, and we're like, dude, you are an enormous Nirvana fan. There is no way you really believe Kurt Cobain said that. Kurt Cobain, the insanely huge feminist who wrote God is gay as graffiti, you think he supports Donald Trump? Okay. No, I don't believe so. Like, people love grunge. They're like, oh, Pearl Jam's my favorite band. Pearl Jam's just like insanely communist. They're just like it's most of the grunge scene was just like, hey, we're all poor people. We are just straight up fucking leftist. We're extremist leftists. We are communists. We want socialism.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, and then they became huge like pop sensations and spread their message. And then, like, people, it just did not work. No one understood what they're talking about.
No. And, like, have you ever... All the videos of Kurt Cobain are him being a fuckhead.
Yes.
It's like, you really think Kurt Cobain said that? Anytime he's interviewed, he's
serious.
like...
Yeah.
I know, anytime he's interviewed, he's like, yeah, go fuck yourself or something.
He's like...
And Dave Grohl's got, like, a sock on his tongue or some shit.
Yeah. Some stupid shit's going on in the background.
Hey, they're like, hey, we're your Nirvana. And then, Chris Novosel's like, yeah, we suck.
Yeah.
Don't listen to us.
Don't listen to us.
So funny. But it's like, I don't think Kurt Cobain would ever...
Don't you think it's so cool that Nevermind came out and Nirvana was like, this is too commercial, we don't like it.
And then they made Incesticide?
Yeah, Incesticide. But Incesticide didn't do as well. But then they made In Utero, and In Utero's like considered their best album by a lot of people because it's like them without a big studio. It's still very like indie and against the grain, but it still was like super commercially successful. It's like the only album like that in existence ever.
In Utero?
Yeah, In Utero is like this album where people are like, where basically superstars managed to retain some of their originality and mix it with like what made them successful to make like the perfect album, pretty much. Like in Utero, I don't think people think In Utero is the best album of all time, but it's like the only album that exists that's like they retained what they used to have. Basically,
I mean, that's got to be at least a top 100 album or something.
It's a fucking great album.
And
some of my favorite Nirvana songs are on that album.
I do think In Utero is Nirvana's best album.
Yeah,
I fucking love Incesticide, and I love Bleach. Nevermind's okay. It's not bad.
Nevermind's amazing. Don't even say it's okay.
Nevermind's really good, but it's overplayed.
Like, yeah, I agree with that.
That's where all their like radio singles come
I think
from,
that
besides like Heart Shaped Box.
I do think Come As You Are is better than... I think Come As You Are is one of their best songs. Like, Come As You Are is amazing. It's a great song.
I really like Lithium.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like... And Polly was on Nevermind.
But I mean, compared to their other albums, I don't think Nevermind's the best.
Nevermind is really, really, really good, though.
I know,
but
I do believe that In Utero
I am
is the best
probably
album. Yeah. When I think of In Utero, I think of like, what's the song? Not Surface Surf. What's the Frances Will Have Her Revenge?
Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge.
That's on
like,
In Utero.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be like, if you want to show someone who only knows the singles, and you want to be like, and they're like, what is Nirvana like besides singles? Like, I would show them that song because it's like, that song is so Nirvana to me. That song's so In Utero to me. Like, I love that song. So The whole like
I
guitar
do think
screeching and like mic feedback in the song, like it's it's so cool.
I just think In Utero's fucking amazing. I think it's their best album. Starts out with Sunless Apprentice, one of my favorite songs.
That's a really good song.
I know.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Nirvana songs. That's what got me into Nirvana.
Yeah.
I listen to that like nonstop.
Yeah, as like a very small lad, I would listen to the popular stuff. I don't think it was super cool. And then once you get deeper in, that just separates the men from the boys. Like there's the casual Nirvana fans, and then the level up is like people just fucking hate Nirvana because they hate all the pop stuff. They hate the popular songs. And then like the step up after that are the people who listen to like everything that's not a radio single. And
the radio singles are okay.
Yeah, most of them are good. Lithium, In Bloom. In Bloom's a good song.
I know, In Bloom rocks.
In Bloom's a great song.
Heart-Shaped Box is not good.
I don't like Heart-Shaped Box.
I like Heart-Shaped Box.
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I think
no.
Heart-Shaped Box is okay like 2 times in my lifetime, but the problem is I've heard it so many times.
Same with It Smells Like...
Heart-Shaped Box is a song I'm happy to listen to whenever I'm in a room with people who like only listen to country or something. Or, like they only like Taylor Swift or something. Like someone who just does not listen to grunge ever, and it's like their first introduction. Now I'm like, all right, listen to Heart-Shaped Box because like this is not your music, and I hope you don't like it. Like I hope it upsets you because it's so like anti whatever else is, you know. But that's the thing. It's so it's so anti-pop that it goes into that territory of like too edgy and too.
Yeah.
It's like edgy pop.
Well, that's what In Utero is supposed to be.
Yeah, but like, well, yeah, it is. You're right. But it's like too pop with too much edge. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's like too transparent, I guess I should say.
And then fucking Bleach is so good.
Bleach is just a punk album. I love punk, so.
It's such a good album.
I'm here for punk
About
music.
a Girl.
Yeah. That's the Beatles song. About a Girl is just the Beatles song.
I know, but it's good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's fucking
Well, that's all. A lot of popular music is like. I was talking about Green Day at work, and people are like, "Ooh, Green Day invented pop punk. They're the reason Blink-182 exists. No, Blink-182 is the reason Blink-182 exists." Like the Ramones and the Clash are pop punk. Like pop is always going to be, if it's on the radio, there's an element of pop to it. Okay, like it just means it's catchy and fun to listen to. Oh, sorry that we don't. You all like Queen, but the second you talk about pop punk, it's like, oh no, we hate that. It's like, listen, if a band's good, it's good. That's all there is to it.
Bleach is their first album, and it's a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's good.
It has a lot of really good songs.
I know.
Isn't like because Love Buzz is on that one too, right?
Yeah.
Good song.
Isn't Sliver on there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I love Sliver.
That's a good song. I gotta look up the album
because you might accidentally say an Incesticide song and you don't want to do that.
Oh, Incesticide's a fucking great album.
This side was them going mad. They were tired of this shit.
School, Paper Cuts, Negative Creep, Swap Meet.
Yeah.
Downer. Blue.
Yeah, Blue's a really good song, yeah. That was pre-Dave Grohl, right?
Yeah. He wasn't on there until Nevermind.
Yeah, he was on the next album. Boy, did he choose the right time, too. He's like, hey guys.
Yeah, and then that drummer went off to be a part of Mudhoney.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the drummer just left, and it doesn't matter what band he's in, he's not gonna succeed. Like, you should have just stayed with Nirvana, you dumbass. Imagine you're hanging out with Kurt Cobain, and you're like, this guy sucks, and you just go somewhere else, some other band. You're stupid. What a dumbass.
Incesticide's got Dive, Stain.
Yeah, Dive is so good.
A bunch of got Been a Sun.
Yeah, that's
Turn Around and Molly's Lips.
Molly's Lips. That's a cover.
Man,
it's still fucking good.
Been a Sun is so good.
Beeswax, Downer Again, Aero Zeppelin, and Aneurysm. Aneurysm's such a good song.
Everyone loves Aneurysm.
That's pop punk for you.
Imagine
Aneurysm's like straight up pop punk.
Imagine
but it's got
you're Pete Best. And you're touring with a band called the Beatles, and you're the drummer, and everyone cheers for you when you play drums because you're really loud and drummy and everyone likes it. And the Beatles are like, hey, we're all getting our haircuts this way. And you say, no, I'm not doing it. And then they're like...
Are you talking about Pete Best?
Yes.
Okay.
And then they're like, okay, now let's... we're not going to wear leather jackets like Elvis anymore. We're going to start wearing nicer clothes.
Suits, yeah.
And he's like, no, not doing that. And you're like, okay. And like, here, record on this album. And then the manager's like, I'm sorry, Pete, but you're fucking terrible. You're not a good drummer. And you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have tried to call the shots and pretend I was the lead star of the band and bargain and say no to everything.
When John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Yeah, well, but he didn't know. He was like, wow, John Lennon and Paul McCartney are fucking gay losers.
Nerds. They jerk off in the dark room.
They jerk off together. They're fucking gay. and then they're like, and then they release, like, they're about to record an album, and they're like, oh, what if we have Ringo drum on this? No, just have Ringo drum.
Let's just try it out. Let's see what happens. Yeah, let's see how it feels.
Wow, what an idiot. Maybe you should have got a fucking haircut, you dipshit.
I know.
Maybe you shouldn't have wore the clothes that they wanted you to, you idiot. Fucking Pete Best.
Same thing.
What a dumbass.
Pete Worst.
Yeah, what a stupid bitch.
He got one-upped by Ringo Starr.
Yeah, Ringo's like, I'm here.
I'm just happy to be here.
They're like, Ringo, will you get the haircut? Yeah. You're in the band.
He's like,
you're in the band
like,
forever.
I'll do fucking anything for you, Paul.
Anything. What do I have to do? You have to do this. You're in. Oh, really? What an idiot, Pete Best.
I know.
He literally was like, I'm gonna fight the Beatles on every decision, every single creative decision. I'm fighting them. They're like, yeah, Pete, it's not working out. We just don't see eye to eye with you. The rest of us all agree on everything but you, so we're just gonna kick you out now. And then he's like, why did you kick me out of the band? And it's like, well, it was Paul and John's band, and you did disagree with every decision they made, and
then fucking the same thing with the drummer of Nirvana. They did Bleach.
It's like, you guys are gay.
Yeah, he's like, Mudhoney's gonna do way better than you are.
Mudhoney is so much cooler. Oh my god.
And Kurt's like, well, just stick around for this one. It's called Nevermind. I think you like it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was called like Cheap. Over, I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't called Nevermind originally. It was called like Electric Sheep. Dreaming about clouds.
It was a
no, it wasn't.
reference to...
No, I don't think it was. Yeah.
It was called Nirvana 2 Electric Boogaloo. The last second, the manager was like, don't do that. Name it something else. He goes, what's a good idea
never mind.
He goes, what's a good idea for an album name? I don't know. Oh, well, never mind. He goes...
Wait a second.
Kurt Cobain, you son of a bitch. What? What did I say? Never mind. Like you don't care? Brilliant, Kurt.
Oh, it was originally
I really don't care. I love that energy, Kurt. Keep that energy.
Keep not caring.
Keep
Good
not
job.
caring.
It was originally just titled Cheap.
Because
he was going to make fun of Cheaple.
Yeah, he kind of did.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, that album was not made for the mainstream. That the lyrics are definitely made for people who are like against the system and who are like, you know, not into hair bands and not into what was popular at the time. And then it became extremely mainstream, and because the album was so well produced, you know, the album was produced by the guitarist from Garbage. And that's because Garbage is nothing but producers. Just a bunch of music producers that got together. And yeah, it's a very well-produced album that sounds super clean and great. And Incesticide sounds really dirty and raunchy on purpose to distance themselves from that.
Incesticide?
Oh, yeah. Did I say In Utero?
I don't know.
Yeah, he said Incesticide.
Okay, yeah. Incesticide is that, yeah. And then In Utero is like where they came and met in the middle. But it wasn't with that same producer from Nevermind, so... But Nevermind is just like a goddamn, I don't know. Production-wise, it's what a lot of bands would strive for, but Kurt didn't like the finished product at the end of the day. But also, from what I can understand from what Pearl Jam has said about their fame and how Nirvana said about their fame, how fame affected Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains and everyone else. The fame didn't really seem to help these bands in the long run. Yes, it got their music out, which is cool, you know, but it seems like it hurt a lot of them mentally more than it helped them. It seems like the ones who seems like the people who had a good time were the people making money off of these grunge bands. So those were the people who were like, oh, hey, you're here to make fun of capitalism? Great. All right. We love that energy. Now, please, make us money. And then, yeah. So.
I mean, that's the same with, like, any band, though. That's like Rage Against the Machine, like...
Yeah.
It's like, as much...
Well, Tom Morello makes it his point. He's like, I want to be as popular as possible and spread our message as wide as possible. And he doesn't care if, you know... But they're at that level where they can make, like, their music videos are just, like, straight up, like, we hate Republicans and Democrats. And then, like, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, they're still... Republicans are still going to be dancing to their music in Trump rallies and stuff because it sounds heavy and cool.
And Democrats, because it sounds heavy and cool.
Yeah.
And both sides just hear, like, fuck the other guy.
That's what people don't understand. Like, they have songs like Guerrilla Radio has this great lyric called A Spectacle Monopolized. And I always think about 9/11 because they're like, oh, they turned a tragedy into a way to make profit in war.
Yeah.
And it's fucking disgusting. And other people who are like, remember those who died during 9/11, they're disgusted when you act like, you know, what we did in retaliation was wrong. But I think it's disgusting that we did that in the first place. I think it's disgusting that that's the legacy of 9/11 was the Iraq War. And...
Which was a 15-year war?
Yeah.
That turned into a 20-year one with the War on Terror? Like...
And...
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's fucked up. But the thing is, that song's not about that at all. That song, he says like more for Gore or the son of a drug lord. He's talking about Al Gore. He's not talking about 9/11. 9/11 didn't happen yet. He's just talking about like shit that always happens. There's always going to be... There's a quote that started going around from Red Letter Media where they're talking about... fuck. I forgot that movie's called, but it's got Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper is the main character, and Keith Davis, the voice of like Spawn, is the side character. You know what I'm talking about?
I have no clue.
Keith Davis is, you know Keith Davis, right? The voice of Spawn.
I've seen Spawn.
Right,
like the cartoon.
The cartoon, yeah,
the
not the
HBO,
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cartoon. And he's like the Arbiter in Halo and stuff. Like he's like a big voice actor. He's fucking got a badass voice. And it's him and Rowdy Piper, and they're like. It's this movie where like he puts on the sunglasses and then he can start seeing like obey, and he takes it off and it's like normal advertisements. Because when Rowdy Piper wears,
why does that sound familiar?
Because you've seen memes of it. It's a super popular movie, but you've probably never seen the actual movie.
No.
But the thing is, so in the movie, like if he puts on the glasses, he can see who's an alien and who's not an alien. When he takes it off, everyone looks like normal people. What he learns is that the rich people are all fucking aliens, and people are like, wow. The more time goes on, the more real this movie is. And then Red Letter Media are like, no, it's not. That's not how it works. There's just always corruption. And we can always just be vague about it because it's always true because the people in power are just fucking corrupt and we just don't do anything about it. It's like, it's just as true as it is today as it was back then. We just literally don't do anything.
I mean, it's been true since the 1950s. Like,
yeah.
We're just
like, okay, that's fine.
70 years of not doing it.
And that's because most people just want... The problem is that it's really hard to sign your life away and die for a cause. Like, most of us just want to, like, raise our kids or something. Like, most of us just want to have, like, a life and not die. But, I mean, people dying is how we got to where we were in a lot of cases. Like,
that's most cases.
People fighting is what we... sometimes you have to fight. Now, we want to fight verbally. We want to fight... through the system, but it's just not working. Right now, you can't fight through the system. You just can't because there's no avenue for it. It just doesn't exist. So I don't know what you're supposed to do, but people want to do it non-violently, but it's...
The Republicans want us to do it non-violently.
It needs to start non-violently or it won't make any traction.
You see the Charlie Kirk... I showed it to you. The Charlie Kirk rally where this guy's like, this is tyranny. What Biden has done is tyranny. When do we take out the guns and kill people? And then Charlie Kirk's like, no. That's what the Democrats want you to do. They want you to kill people, so they call you the bad guy. And he's like, okay, but we are under a tyrannical dictator who stole the election. What are we supposed to do about that? And he's like, nothing.
Yeah.
Buy more of my stuff. It's like, Charlie, you've told people, you've got people up in a frenzy.
But anytime a riot happens at a BLM protest, they're always like, MLK did it peacefully. There was no violent protest during the civil rights movement. It's like, okay, but
MLK did do it peacefully, but he
wasn't the only person.
Right.
Malcolm X existed.
Yeah.
The Black Panthers there?
Yeah.
The Black Panthers existed.
The problem is that
MLK was peaceful, but he was
MLK, but Malcolm X was like, when if they're gonna do it to us, we're gonna do it to them.
When other black civil rights leaders were not being peaceful, MLK wasn't like, get away from. He was like, no, come join my cause. Like, we're all standing together.
He's like, keep that shit outside, but come over here.
Yeah. He was like, he was just straight up like, well, he has that famous quote where he's like, the riot is the sound of the people with no voice, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, they wouldn't be rioting if you gave them a chance.
Is the voice of the unheard.
Yeah. If you treat people like people, then they wouldn't be rioting. It's pretty much what he's saying.
MLK wasn't inherently against violence either.
Exactly.
But still, they complain.
MLK was also a communist against the Vietnam War. And people don't like to talk about that. So.
Exactly. But it's like,
a lot of
when BLM protests.
Here's the thing: in the civil rights movements, being black, being Muslim, and being communist were three things that all went hand in hand, and now they don't. Black people are Christian again, and it's no wonder why. It's because they'll fall in line if they're Christian. Whereas when they're Muslim, they'll fight against. It was so Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
That was not his fucking birth name.
And Mike Tyson did too.
Yeah.
He converted to Islam.
A lot of black people used to convert to Islam, especially like the celebrities and popular ones, because they didn't see Christianity as a religion for black people, and they're right. Christianity is the religion of the slave owners. So
yeah, but it's anytime black BLM protest happens and there's a riot that occurs not directly because of BLM or directly because of BLM, whatever.
Yeah.
The riot fucking freaks out and says they shouldn't be rioting, they should be peacefully protesting. That's not how protests are held. You don't riot. But it's like, how the fuck else are you gonna get...
Well, the problem is, the police definitely agitate them, and sometimes they straight up attack them when nothing's even going on.
Yeah.
The problem is there's no defined leader of this movement, and so with MLK,
you can't be a leader because they'll just character assassinate you, and
exactly
it's set up exactly how they want it.
Greta Thunberg.
Yeah,
they're character assassinating her all the time.
She's okay for the most part, but she's also
Ben Shapiro just goes after her as
Ben Shapiro's
often as he can.
He's got like a 2-inch penis, but like. Greta Thunberg is like a white girl, and if you were the leader of like a BLM movement, you'd be a black man, and if you better not have said any joke about women on Twitter, because white women be coming for your ass,
or say anything supporting violence.
You better not. Yeah, you better have never said anything ever about supporting violence on Twitter.
You better have a clean criminal record.
Yeah.
You better support the police.
If you want to be a Republican president. Yeah, you can do anything you want. You can cheat on people. You can break the law. You can have, have a bunch of failed businesses.
Our last two presidents are almost definitely rapists, and before that, multiple. And then
before Obama, more rapists.
Exactly.
Obama's the only one who's just like Obama's just like a killer. He's not a rapist though.
He's just a child murderer. He doesn't rape anybody.
He just murders people. But I don't think he murdered anyone before he was president.
So he's not Clinton.
Yeah. But
it's like violence is almost necessary to achieve.
There's a double standard. If you're running for president, you can literally. If you're going to be a Republican, you can like fuck porn stars and have like a bunch of wives with a bunch of kids with different. Think about the fact that Trump has multiple kids from different wives. Like, just think about that.
And he's Christian.
Imagine if that was Obama. I'm just. Yeah. I mean, come on.
I know.
They're like, Michelle's a man, and Obama's a Muslim, and it's like, that's the best you got.
Yeah.
You ain't got shit. But like with Trump, they're like, actually, Jesus chose him. He's like a great Christian president, and we all support him. And it's like, what the fuck? But I guarantee you, if you are trying to become a leader of BLM, and you've jaywalked,
it shouldn't be. They should not associate themselves with BLM either. It's too hot right now. Like, you don't want to jump on.
There's no. Yeah, at this point, yeah. But there's no way. The thing is, BLM has had a lot of character assassination itself, And that's the thing. Like, no matter what people do, they're going to associate it with, like, horrible things. It's just part of the game. It's the name of the game at the end of the day.
And I mean, yeah. I don't know.
There's no way around it. There's no way to win with Republicans. They're not here to play fair. That's not the point. The point's to win by any means. So,
if the police are gonna be a bunch of fuckheads, then the protesters should be a bunch of fuckheads back to the police.
Can we just talk about how
also MLK was arrested multiple times?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
of course.
Come on.
Well, they character assassinated him for being a Southern Baptist preacher who was cheating on his wife everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went, he was fucking different women.
Yeah. And the FBI is there's letters.
Yeah.
The FBI is saying, hey, if you don't stop it, we're gonna tell everyone you fucking cheated on your wife.
Yeah.
You bastard. If you don't, we'll just kill you.
They got Malcolm X on heroin.
Yeah. Malcolm X was a straight up gangster before he went to before he became Malcolm X. He learned to become Malcolm X because he was in jail because he was a fucking gangster, literally robbing places. That was his upbringing. Like, he was a fucking crazy, 1940s fucking gangster. Like,
a black guy is a 1940s gangster is a guy you don't want to fuck.
Right. He's a straight up Tommy gun motherfucker.
I know nothing
about... Tommy gun fedora wearing motherfucker.
I know nothing about Malcolm X because my school never taught anything about him.
No, because they don't want you to know about how insane he is. He was like a straight up madman.
They want you to learn about
He went to jail and he read 2 books and was like, oh my god. Yeah. He became a black civil rights leader icon and then went to Mecca and or not to Mecca. He went to whatever Islam's holy land is.
Mecca.
Is it Mecca? Okay.
Yeah.
And so we
only learned about MLK because he did the peaceful protesting thing.
Yeah,
and that's what they want you to learn.
Well, it's because they don't
want you to learn about Malcolm X. They want you to learn about how MLK achieved the civil rights movement.
I learned about Gandhi and stuff too.
I learned about Gandhi as well because he was very peaceful.
Yeah.
He was very much a peaceful protester.
Look, see,
and again, they still
peaceful protest.
Yeah,
but then you look at other Indian monks who burning themselves alive or something, or was that Tibetan monks or something?
That was. So the album cover of
that was for the Vietnam War.
Yeah, that was Vietnam.
Monks
in protest.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing in multiple countries though. But
self-immolation is a Buddhist religious practice. It's
see, that's the thing. I want free healthcare. I'm not trying to burn myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to put myself on fire.
Those monks were like, I hate the Vietnam War. I'm going to burn myself alive right now. And then they would.
I semi-agree with we need violence, but I don't think it should be violence. I think it needs to be organized. And I don't know, you would have been fairly young when it was going on, but I know you remember, Tyler, you remember the protests over in Ukraine?
Yeah.
With where they built the snow wall and lit mountains of tires on fire with gasoline so that the police could not get through. That was fucking badass.
Yeah.
The pictures from that looked like hell. And the police could do nothing. The Russian military could do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And there was no guns. No guns on the protest side.
They want... There's a reason our school only teaches us about MLK and Gandhi.
Yeah.
It's because if we were to protest, they want us to be easily
and it's funny
stopped.
It's funny because, like...
You know what I mean?
You think about
easily
Rosa Parks.
Immobilized.
Imagine if Rosa Parks...
Pacified.
Yeah.
Imagine if Rosa Parks was today. Like, it would be just straight up character assassination 24/7.
Yeah.
What she did was terrible.
She touched weed one time.
Yep.
She had sex before marriage. Oh, what a slut.
She's a slut. She looks kind of like a dude, therefore she's a transgender man.
And a Christian? What?
No.
But not really, yeah.
Trump can literally... There's literally audio of Donald Trump saying, yeah, I just go into the changing rooms at the beauty pageants because I own the building. I can do that. And then you're like a dude and you're like, yes, I love this. And then they're like, Trump's like, yeah, I think your daughter should become in the beauty pageant. And you're like, And then your other Republican friend's like, you better keep clapping. He's like, He's like, yeah, I think your wife too. Your wife's pretty hot too. She should be in the beauty pageant. You're like, please don't walk in on them naked. I'm gonna walk in on them naked because I can.
You know what? You're kind of a pretty little man too.
You know what? I think it's about time you get into the beauty pageant.
Yeah.
But Trump, I'm not a woman.
We can fix that with some tape.
Yeah, you need to put on this dress. I wonder if anyone will know. You little bitch. You little pussy boy.
Stay on that vent and do the Marilyn Monroe thing.
Put on this fit. Now piss on me.
Also, Marilyn Monroe was kind of a fucking badass herself.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, she suffered from a lot of character assassination herself. It was pretty bullshit.
She fucked a JFK so many times.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dude,
why wouldn't she?
If you're JFK, yes, you're gonna fuck Marilyn Monroe. If you're Marilyn Monroe, yes, you're gonna fuck JFK. Literally nothing.
Also, JFK had a gay lover.
I believe it.
I saw that the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
They called him like the first best friend.
Yes, he had a room in the White House, and he would accompany JFK everywhere.
So it's definitely a gay guy.
Yes.
There's the thing. There's a certain point where, like, once you have acquired power, like, what is
and the
stopping
Kennedys
you?
were like a huge family.
Yeah. What's stopping you from doing whatever you want?
Yeah.
Like, you can do anything at a certain point. Like,
yeah.
So what? I don't know. It's like there's no limit.
But it's like Marilyn Monroe was the first girl to be like, I'm not ashamed of my femininity.
Right, yeah.
She was like the first one to flaunt and be proud.
Yeah.
So it's cool. She's very cool. She did a lot of drugs. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Fuck JFK.
Sounds cool to me. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
There's still a huge stigma.
People think that she was assassinated as well.
How did she die?
OD.
That's what I thought.
But people think she was assassinated because she was sleeping with JFK.
I mean, there's a possibility that she could one day spill the beans, so I could understand that. If they're gonna kill JFK, they might as well kill her too. But I don't know.
But this was like way before.
I don't know.
But
it's very.
I don't know.
The thing is,
just like a thing.
The thing is, a lot of people are being killed at this point. I don't think they were killed with like overdoses. You know, like I think today, if you want to make it look like an accident, you would give someone an overdose if you were like a hitman.
I don't know. It's very easy to. Back then, it was like she was a dirty fucking drug user.
That's true.
She just overdosed. What a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like okay, because you have to remember a lot of conspiracies that turn out to be real are like the stupidest shit ever. I feel like it would be more realistic if they were like, she was drunk and a train hit her. Like, I think if they killed her, they would have like it would have been some violent fucking death because that's how it always is.
Yeah,
it's always like some insanely violent. Like,
but if she's JFK, already a drug user,
with JFK, MLK, and Malcolm X, they'd even try like, oh, just have someone shoot them.
Yeah,
like every time.
It's, like,
it's fucking not.
It's easy to have a drug user overdose.
I'm just saying, I don't believe it.
I'm just saying it's a thing that might have happened. And she was trying to get women to be more, sex positive and
was she
independent.
She's a lefty.
She was trying to get... She was like a suffrage icon.
She was also, I believe, the one who got Eartha Kitt her first performance at a big white club. Whites only club.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was like, hey, you know how I'm booked to play tonight? And they're like, yeah. And she was like, I believe it was Eartha Kitt. She was like, so is Eartha Kitt, or I'm not showing up. And they were like, well, you can't do that. She's black. And
she's like, okay, I'm not playing.
She's like, well, you know, I'm Marilyn Monroe, and she's black, so like, figure it out. Like, 'cause I'm not showing up if she's not.
Yeah.
And that probably had more to do with it than the feminist stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, because
I don't know, because like
women,
during that time, the women like.
I mean, yeah,
she was,
but I don't.
She was very much like, she was like, I'm a slut and I don't care, like.
And we love her for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hippies were already a thing by that point too, though.
Not the 50s and 60s. Well, I guess the 60s.
The 50s too. They just weren't. So
they weren't huge, but it's like
stock yet, but it was.
But it's like
there.
She was in the public eye all the time, and she's like, I'm not married and I don't need no man. I'm gonna fuck whoever I want.
Yeah, and she did.
And I'm gonna show off my body because I'm fucking hot.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Was people were like, you can't. If you show your body, then no one will ever love you or like you or respect you. And then she was like, no, I'm literally proof that's not true. And then, yeah.
She married that baseball player who was like...
Who beat the shit out of her.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. He was very abusive.
It was the 50s. You know that shit was going on.
Yeah.
The Godfather? You know, have you ever read The Godfather?
I've never even seen The Godfather.
Wow.
Godfather.
Kind of,
Pete,
I've read
like The Godfather? I don't care for it. I don't care for it.
There's a part...
You know, Lois?
I don't...
Jay Leno again. Fucking Jay Leno.
I don't care for it. I don't much care for it.
But there's a part in there where a beautiful actress who is supposed to be Marilyn Monroe gets the fuck beat out of her by her husband. She's like, just don't hit me in the face, please. I need it for my shoot.
Yeah.
And yeah. And there's a character in The Godfather who's supposed to be Frank Sinatra because he had mob connections and became popular because of the mob.
Yeah.
That book's really good. So is the movie.
It insists upon itself, Lois. I'm sorry, what? It insists upon itself. All right then, Peter. What? I've never even finished it. Well, how can you say you don't like it if you've never been given a chance?
What are you talking about?
The Family Guy's thing.
He's doing every fucking part from Family Guy right now.
Well,
he just said Stewie,
most of them are
Lois,
Seth
and
MacFarlane,
Peter.
so it's not that hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Family Guy moment where they're all drowning, and he's like, never seen. Or he's like, I don't like The Godfather, and then everyone's like, what? He's like, don't like it, don't care for it. And she's like, explain yourself. And he goes, I like The Money Pit. And she goes, well, exactly. You're an idiot. And then Chris is just random like, well, I like Al Pacino. It's like one of the last funny things they actually did.
That was like season 8.
That was really towards the end. That was like right before it did
You should watch The Godfather. It's a good movie.
Yeah. It's a good movie. It's one of those movies where right when you turn it on, you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Like literally right from the first second.
It's just mob shit. It's awesome.
It's all like it's literally like the best actors of the time. And for a lot of people today, they're like going to see a lot of actors that are still around today, but much younger. And
Al Pacino, yeah.
It's everyone. It's like all the greats are all in that one movie.
Who's the guy who plays Don Corleone?
I don't remember his name.
But he was like
that
was like the Jack Nicholson of his time.
That guy.
I know what you're talking about, though.
That guy was a big deal before that movie, but the thing is that I live in a post Godfather world. Like I was born way after that movie came out, so that's all I think of is that role when he was the Godfather.
Because it's such a good role, and
he's so good. No, it makes you like the characters a lot more when you see their interactions and stuff.
Yeah.
Al Pacino? No.
Look what they did to my beautiful boy.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely know that name.
Look
yeah.
what they did
to my beautiful boy, or is it my baby boy? Something like that.
Yeah. What's it?
Or like they massacred my boy.
Yeah,
that's a great line.
What is it?
The Godfather game on Xbox 360 was pretty good too.
What's the famous quote?
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, something like that.
Yeah, but
because he's like, asking for a favor.
Yeah. What's the other thing?
Is it? It's Joe Pesci, right? Who's like, you think I'm funny? You think I'm funny? Like, haha, funny? It's gotta be Joe Pesci, right? Who later was like the robber in Home Alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all of the Italian guys are all in that movie.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Man.
I'm gonna make an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an offer you can't refuse.
It's a good movie. It's a story about the mob. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I never finished The Irishman either.
That movie's pretty good too.
I've never watched that one yet.
It's a very long movie.
It's like 3.5 hours.
Watch it in 2 parts.
I watched...
But it's good.
1 part, yeah. But no, I need to watch The Godfather. I need to watch...
There's a fucking decapitated horse head, and it's a real horse head.
I know a lot of the spoilers from it. I mean, it's a,
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
45-year-old movie or whatever.
It really
you still need to...
Because as long as you try to appreciate for what it is, if you're a movie fan, then you'll be fine. You'll like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, remember
the
when
horse head is real. They got a real horse head.
When we like all three watched Pulp Fiction around the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this fucking movie, and then you guys just like watched it, and then you were like, yeah, the movie's great. It's like, yeah, a lot of those scenes
and Kill Bill,
are all spoiled. Most people know the iconic scenes from those movies. It doesn't fucking matter.
Say what again, motherfucker?
It literally doesn't matter because it's so good. Just seeing, even though you know the scenes, just seeing them the way they're properly supposed to be presented is just perfect.
In context.
Yeah. It's so good. So yeah, it doesn't even matter. That's the thing with anyone who are like, if you've never watched a famous movie, just don't feel weird about it. Just like literally, if there's like a famous movie that's like on Netflix and you're just like, it's right there, and just watch it, yeah, because you're gonna be like, oh, this is famous for, like, you're gonna be halfway through it and be like, this is famous for a reason, and it's really good. Yeah.
Most popular movies are
Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore,
exactly,
Mr. Deeds.
Most like legendary, well-known movies have reached that status
Nicky.
for a reason.
I'm trying to think of some other legendary movies.
What was I gonna say?
Click. I mean,
come on.
What else is there?
Just like
Waterboy? Are you kidding me? Waterboy?
Seeing John Travolta.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh no.
Just talk about religion and shit.
I love that movie because it starts off with like
they've got a dead guy. Yeah.
And then like it's just like we're gonna put a pin on this. We're gonna come back to this badass shit at the end of the movie. You're not gonna be bored later. Don't worry.
They've got a dead guy in their trunk. They're just talking about God or something. Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
I fucking love that movie.
So good.
That's serious. I mean, the thing is, like, now if you watch
John Travolta dies on the toilet.
If you watch TikToks, people always make fun of you. Like, men only like if you want to piss off a man, just say Pulp Fiction's not a good movie. And it's like, and they keep making fun of like every man's favorite movie is Pulp Fiction. It's like, first of all, watch Pulp Fiction. My defense is watch Pulp Fiction.
Have you seen Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
That one's good too.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. It doesn't tell you what happens until it's so good.
All the like,
it tells you what happens in bits and pieces from each of the characters.
They're very similar in that way.
Yeah.
All those movies with like gangster stuff in it is pretty dope.
Have you ever seen? What is that movie called? I have to look it up. I never
saw The Exorcist until we watched it together in that first movie night.
That was good too. That was one.
I know that's still one of my favorite movies that we've watched so far.
I think that one and Candyman.
Yeah,
were like probably top 2.
Candyman 2. Me and Shane watched it in theaters. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
I recommend it. It's not so much about how scary it is. It's more about how like the lore is actually cool and they like expand. They literally like. I thought it was gonna be a reboot. And it's literally like a straight up sequel, but still based in modern times.
Oh yeah, because it was the the premise of the first one is he comes back like every 23 years or whatever, right?
And that's pretty much what they did. They went for that exact sequel thing. It worked. It ends up being really cool, but like I said, it's not so much scary as it is just like, oh, this is really interesting.
It has its moments.
But I think even the first Candyman, I wasn't... Okay, no, I won't... That's not true. In the first Candyman, when she, like, wakes up and it's like a fucking bloody massacre...
Yeah.
And you think it's a dream sequence, but it just keeps going and going and going. It turns out to be real. That's actually fucked with my head, because, like, what the fuck? I have to know what happened.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, Candyman is good more for, like, the lore and background stuff than it is for, like, being scared shitless or something.
Yeah, and it definitely does build on the first... It was,
yeah, I did not expect Candyman 2 to be what it was, and I ended up really... I was like, this movie, like, that was pretty good. Like,
yeah.
But don't watch it if you haven't seen the first one. If this is your introduction, don't fucking watch it.
You could watch it. You could watch it without watching it, because it explains what happens, but you're not going to get the full effect of the movie without watching it.
I really think you should just... You're right. They do explain it, but, like... You're doing a disservice. Just watch the first one and then... Okay. And the first one's still good. The first one's great, so...
Have you ever seen The Departed? With Leo DiCaprio and Matt Damon?
No, I haven't. Is that the one that came out, like, in 2010's time? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have not seen that.
Like The Departed?
Yes.
But I know what you're talking about.
Okay, the first time I watched that, I was high as shit.
Not a good movie to watch high.
No, so I was so high, I did not realize that Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon were two different characters.
That's gonna fuck with you
until
really
about
bad.
2/3 of the way through the movie. I thought it was going like flashback, flash forward.
Yeah,
and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
So the premise of the movie is... Leo, for the sake of explanation, because I don't remember which character is which... Leo...
Matt Damon's a cop.
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt Damon goes undercover into a gang. Mm-hmm. Leo is a gang member who goes undercover into the...
okay.
Into the
or whatever, right?
NYPD.
Okay.
I think.
So that's kind of a weird concept.
That was in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he goes under... So they've...
That's not
basically,
what I thought this movie was about.
Yeah, they basically switch spots, and it's them two versus each other. One's giving information from the gang, and the other's trying to figure out who's giving the information.
Yeah.
And trying to, like, undermine the gang. It's so cool and very good. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Jack Nicholson being a straight up gangster through the whole movie too.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's like the mob boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
A lot of things about like good movies is that people think they're going to be like these boring, dry, like, ooh, this is so intellectual, but really they're just like thrillers. They're just stuff that like keeps you on the edge of your seat. And
The Departed definitely does
it's
that.
Like you guys just don't understand because you watch a lot of like Marvel movies and Transformers, and you're not used to being like having your brain just grabbed, like just being like, oh, this, like,
The Lighthouse.
My life is this movie. Yeah, The Lighthouse is an example of like an
that was such a good movie.
Yeah, it was good.
The Lighthouse didn't do that for me. It was a good movie, but
it wasn't. Lighthouse is not the kind of movie where you're on the edge of your seat. The Lighthouse is one that's more like you have to sit back and think about it. But
I wasn't bored.
I felt like
I wasn't bored.
Like
I liked it. Yeah,
like a pipe and a glass of tea to watch The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse is a thinking man's
The
movie.
Lighthouse is just two characters talking to each other.
Yeah.
But it never gets boring.
I was still intrigued
and it's
to
so
see
interesting.
What happens to be William Dafoe is like just a fucking top-notch god-tier actor. And I didn't know if Robert Pattinson was or not, but I had faith that he was. Turns out he's pretty fucking good in this movie. And yeah.
He's great.
He got me excited for the Batman.
Yeah, no, I want examples of Robert Pattinson being badass. Because all I know is that he was like a retard in Harry Potter. And then he also played a retard in Twilight. So
and
like
also kind of a pedophile.
Yeah, and also very questionable. I've been alive for fucking thousands of years. I'm gonna date a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I won't fuck her, but I am gonna watch her all night because I don't sleep.
And then in The Lighthouse, he's gay.
Yes. Lighthouse, he's kind of a retard.
He goes back to the retard.
He goes back to that retard. But yeah, anyway.
But that movie's awesome. It's very cool.
Yeah, it was.
It's shot in black and white. It's shot just like an old.
Well, I knew. So I was expecting that to be like more of like a slow, dry, drawn out movie, and I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed that movie.
It wasn't even that slow or drawn out.
There was a lot of
Shane, it's pretty slow and drawn out. I hate to break it to you. I can't. I mean,
but it
I don't want to lie to these fine people.
It did a great job building up to the climax of the movie.
I was really interested to see where it was going.
Yeah,
for sure. And also, I enjoyed seeing the interactions between the two. It's like the thing is, the movie would have the pacing was good because it would go to be Robert Pattinson completely by himself and just being like insane, and then you get this clarity with the two of them together, and you're like, oh, this is normal now. And then after a while, even that starts turning insane, and that's why the movie worked for me.
Yeah, and I just love the way the movie was shot in black and white, like old.
Yeah,
like it's an old.
They made fucking William Dafoe looking like fucking crazy.
I know, it was really good.
He looked so much older than he really was. Like he really looked like a dirty, crazy old man. That was awesome. We have to wrap this one up, though.
Yeah. That movie made me wish he was the Joker too. Honestly,
William Dafoe.
Yeah,
yeah, we were watching that. Like, this is just Batman and Joker, right? You know? Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm excited for him to come back as Green Goblin.
Yeah, it's true. Which is very similar. Green Goblin,
the Joker. Yeah.
Green Goblin has been the most similar to like that Jack Nicholson Joker performance since.
Are you in or are you out?
Are you in or are you out?
You're the one who's out, Gabby. Out of your mind.
I fucking people will tell me with a straight face that's better than the new Spider-Man. And it's like, guys, based on what?
Nostalgia.
Are you in or are you out?
Can you tell me a reason besides nostalgia?
William Dafoe's ass while he's flying through the streets.
He's got a big dump truck ass. It's very green.
It's all veiny for some reason.
Spider-Man. In the comics, I wear like a purple tunic.
But me,
in this,
Peter.
I'm naked.
Stop, Peter. It's me. Don't kill me, Peter.
You don't want to upset Harry, do you? Then join me, and together we will rule the New York.
Yeah, rule New York.
It's so stupid. It doesn't even work as a concept. It's like the worst superhero movie, but people... The thing is that it's so memorable, and they got, like, certain things right. Like, they nailed certain things, and that's why people love it so much. But once the Green Goblin and Spider-Man start fighting, the movie just totally falls apart. And then, like, literally he throws... People want this to be recreated in the new, like, Spider-Man crossover movie. This scene where he throws, like, the bombs and the people just vaporize. Literally, dust flies off of their skeleton bodies and it's just, like, skeletons. Like,
it's like
instantaneous.
Like a nuke. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
he just, like,
nuke.
insanely melts. But, like, their skeletons are just like, ah. Like, it's so stupid. And like those people are just dead. And Spider-Man's like, "Oh, that was bad." and then
he didn't try to save them.
He just killed a bunch of people, and then he's like, and then Spider-Man's like, "You're out of your mind, Gobby." He goes, "You're the one who's out, Gobby." Don't call him Gobby.
I know.
I don't like.
He's trying to do quips while
it doesn't work.
People are dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you in or are you out?
Then Green Goblin, Spider-Man goes to a burning building, and Green Goblin's dressed as an old lady, but with the fucking armor on
He's trying to be like
stuff. And he's like, "Help me up!" And Spider-Man turns him around. It's Green Goblin. He's like, "Sleeping gas," and he takes Spider-Man out of the burning building, like wraps him up in a bunch of like wires and stuff, and he's like, "Join me, Spider-Man." It's like, why did you do it? Just, what was the point of it? Why were you waiting in a burning building? Like, I hope Spider-Man comes in this burning building. I was like, I'm going to dress as an old lady. I'm going to scare him. And then go, sleeping gas. So bad.
Also, the
guys, you can't defend this movie. The
scenes where William Dafoe's just talking to himself and going crazy.
He's like crawling towards the mirror.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What do we do? What do we do?" And then like zooms on the mask. He's like, "Kill his girlfriend."
But it shows like a scene where William's just like going like, "What do we do?" And he's like, "Bah."
No, it's literally like him talking to the mirror. Mm-hmm. So you see like you see him from behind, but you also see his like front from the mirror. And then whenever it's a goblin talking, it like literally puts the camera on the mask. It's like laughably stupid. It's like when you're a little kid, you probably don't care, but goddamn, is it dumb. And you also, when you're a little kid, you're looking at that scene where Spider-Man's kissing Mary Jane upside down, her nipples just like clearly displayed, and you're like, huh, interesting.
I like this movie.
Huh, interesting. Yes.
That's why it's the best Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's the best Spider-Man because you see Kirsten Dunst's boobs. And a PG-13 movie. They found a way to do it.
Zendaya looks like a 13-year-old girl. Bring Kirsten Dunst back.
Yeah, bring Kirsten Dunst back. They're like, I don't know about this movie. I don't know if we can make it work. Like, what if we show boobs? You can't show boobs in a Spider-Man movie. What if I told you I'm a huge fetish pervert and I can make this work? And I remember in middle school, I'd be like, I love Spider-Man. And then girls in my class were called Kirsten Dunst a slut, and I didn't know why. Like, literally as a kid, I was like, why does everyone think Kirsten Dunst is a slut? And then, and then I got older, I was like, oh, yeah, that's why. Oh, that's why girls were so mad about that movie when I was in middle school. Because they saw her nipples, and they were mad that we could all look at her boobs.
That's dumb.
It's funny how, like, nipples are that's the main thing. That's all that matters if you show nipples or not. So.
Yeah. All right, we actually need to wrap this up now.
Wrap it up.
Okay, I'm wrapping it up now. Bye.
Wrapping up his dick.